So I'm here in a lovely car park at the University of Surrey. I'm very happy to be here. It's not raining, that's a plus. But I have come to see this thing. This is a 12-bay public charging station that's being installed basically in a few hours. Big truck came in, drove around there, crane lifts it up, spins it round, they plonk it down, they feed the wires in, they join it all together, they lift up the solar panels, and jobs are good 'un. So that is a 12-bay public charger, and this is the Everything Electric Show.
Love everything electric? Join us live in the South this October and in Australia, London and Canada in 2025.
So, as you can see, things are moving on a little bit. Now, they've just raised the first of the solar roofs, and you can now see where the chargers are all the way along there. 12 charge points. Yes, they don't create all the energy that this system might use, but a huge chunk of it is generated from having those solar panels on the top. What a good idea.
Obviously we want this thing to work year round, day or night, and you know the reality is that much solar is not enough to power that number of EV chargers all year round.
Yeah.
You know, in the peak of the summer, or if it's particularly low utilisation, it might be exporting to the site.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely a grid-connected unit.
Right.
And the solar is there to supplement the grid energy.
So this is the Papilio 3. The structure of this is built around the large containers. So the four corners of that will fit on a container truck. It's exactly the same scale as that. It's built in a slightly different way. And this will charge 12 cars. You could charge 12 cars on, say, 7 kilowatts, 11 kilowatts, or 22 kilowatts. So it's for when you're parking and doing something else. It's not a rapid charger. You wouldn't have this on at a motorway services. This is for when you're at a leisure centre or you're at a university or you're doing your shopping. This will add quite a lot of range to your car while you're busy doing something else. So if you they talk about parking there for like 2 to 4 to 5 hours.
Charge when you stop, don't stop to charge.
Yes.
Is the model here. You know, destination workplace. So that's a place where the charging infrastructure can be the least expensive and the best value. Particularly, you know, take a site like this where they're negotiating quite low rates on their electricity in the first place. Then chuck in 20-30% discount from the solar. And then the fact that we've got those magic systems that reduce the infrastructure and operational costs, well, that then helps essentially those, if you like, standing charges, the rates that you're trying to recuperate.
Push it down.
So you don't need such a high margin to pay for the installation.
What a lovely, simple idea is to cover car parks in solar panels. They're already ugly, big things, big flat lumps of land. You can't grow anything in a car park. Cover it in solar panels. If you're not doing that now, you're an utter disgrace to the human race. Anyway, so if this whole car park that we're in now had solar panels, but it was all connected to that, you would not need a lot of grid electricity.
Probably not. I mean, you know, in reality, is most of the time that solar is going to be feeding back into the site and saving them money on the electricity. And that's where going in behind the meter is quite important.
Right.
So if you think about the value to the grid of exported solar, you know, maybe it's 4.5, 5 pence a kilowatt hour. If you think about the value to the site of exported solar, well, there's a whole university over there, you know, they're saving, I don't know, 25, 30, 35 pence a kilowatt hour on their energy costs.
Which
so
in over a year, you're talking, it's millions of pounds basically on a big site like this.
So typically the Papilio on its own generates somewhere between £5,000 and £7,000 a year in solar electricity.
Right. Obviously the solar is a very key important part of it, but this is mains connected, this particular one. They do make them battery operated as well, so that blue box at one end would have a big battery in it, and that means you could charge it. Solar goes into the battery goes into the car. But this one is a mains connected one, and they've got some very clever technology that allows them to charge all those cars on a much smaller feed from the grid. So Peter, we're here while this is being installed today. That's why we're here filming this. And I just want to explain, you are a member of the public, so you're not connected with this in any way.
A nosy passerby saw a beautiful structure going up with some solar panels and thought, I must come and stick my nose in and find out what's going on.
So do you drive an electric vehicle?
I've got an electric bike.
Right.
And I was using a BMW X1 for the weekend.
Right.
Because my car was having some repairs.
Right.
So I've had the taste.
What I'm interested to find out is when you see something like this, does it make you think, oh, maybe it's not as hard to charge a car as I might have thought?
Yeah, it's encouraging to see, because when I was using this X1 at the weekend, it's got a 230-mile range,
Right.
and you kind of want to drive it properly and not be conserving so much, because it's recyclable, it's regenerating. So seeing charging sites, especially solar-powered ones, is really just like, that's why I came over to ask. I thought, fantastic. It popped up in the moment since I arrived.
Yeah.
So it's impressive to see how quickly they go up.
Yeah. But then in terms of actual use for drivers, because one of my bugbears is how occasionally complicated it can be.
Yeah.
You know, having to have apps and cards
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But how does that vary on where you put it in? Have you got a standard charging system, or
if you
does it
open up
vary on?
your Apple Store, your Play Store, you will not find a 3TI app. Okay,
Right.
I refuse to have an app.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, but it's my bugbear
can
as
I
well.
shake your hand?
Sorry.
That's amazing.
Like,
So
absolutely
there's
same,
no app.
absolutely same. There's no
Right,
app, no
right.
app. And actually, one of the frustrations in this industry is that there's actually very few apps out there. What you've got is a lot of white label rebranded
Yes,
apps.
yeah.
I just don't see the point of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they want your data. That's all.
Well, they do, and
that's
you
what
know,
it feels like.
our
anyway.
business model's a bit different. So,
Right.
and the way we do it means that we don't need that as part of our business model.
Right.
So, you know, absolutely, we'll use other people's apps.
Right.
And one of the things we've worked on really hard for exactly those reasons. I've been driving EVs long enough to
Yeah.
know exactly what those issues are. It's not just about the CCTV and the lighting and
Yeah.
that stuff. It's about that user experience,
Yeah.
and it has to be good.
Yeah. So there we go. Everything's put in place. The truck's off. It's finished. Job done. And there's one thing left to do, and I've been given the honour of doing that, and that is turn it on. So, Mark, that truck arrived here, around about 10, bit before
Yeah,
10
just before
this
10, yeah.
morning. And we're now about 3 hours later. Because I think the thing I want to explain is that the car park, this bit of the car park's been closed off for
Yes.
safety reasons.
Yes.
But we know we've thrown all the parking out at the University of Surrey.
I know, we're not popular this morning.
But so you're reopening it very soon, are you? The car
Yeah,
park?
in a minute now, yeah.
Right.
So since the truck is out, then we should be able to reopen it. It's
Right.
because of the access, getting the truck
Yeah.
in through the car park.
Right.
We didn't want people parked all over the
But
place.
I mean, that normally, if you were doing a building job, if you were building even a solar canopy here with chargers on, that would take a few weeks at minimum.
yeah, a few months really.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very difficult. And even when you putting charge points in the ground and digging trenches, and
Yeah.
you have to cordon it all off and put
Yeah.
concrete down and schedule activities, that all takes weeks.
Right.
So yeah, we avoid
So this is
all of
basically a longish morning, and it's
that. It is. We've even had time for coffee. So
yeah. So this is it. I'm going to turn it on right now. Look at that with a big switch. Right, let's try this. Ta-ta! Plug it in. Let's have a go with that. Oh, nice and smooth. Now, I have been issued. I'm cheating a bit. I've been issued with a special free card. Oh! And it's charging. Yes. So, what an amazing thing to see this go up that quickly. I mean, it's probably been 6 hours since it arrived here and I'm charging. So that is pretty impressive when these things normally take months. But one of the critically important things, I think, is that this sort of charging needs to be far more ubiquitous. This is the way you should charge electric cars for 90% of the time, when you're not using them, when you're not waiting for them, when you're doing something else, working, going to the gym, doing a bit of shopping. These sort of chargers are really critically important, and this system, I've got to hand it to them. 3TI, you've done a really good job. This is incredible. Anyway, that's all we've got time for. As always, if you have been, thank you for watching.